Hello you guys and welcome back to another video. Now today you guys, I have a good video plan. Now I know that you guys did like my SpongeBob theory video. Um and I honestly liked filming it too. It was pretty fun and I want to do more SpongeBob content because I just love the show. No, not just more SpongeBob content, but just like, I don't know, I thought like, because I would see people like do like top 10 episodes, all that stuff, and I was like, well, I want to do this too. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. I will be doing a top 10 list eventually, but I just wanted to do this video first because I got really excited. And today you guys are reviewing the top 5 darkest SpongeBob episodes in my opinion. Now, this is a video based on my opinion only. If you have opinions and you want to leave them in the comments, or you think there should be an episode that should be on this list, then leave it in the comments. But again, this is based on my opinion and my opinion only on which are the darkest episodes and which are not. And yeah, let's just get right into it. But before we start, you guys, please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss any new content from me. And yeah, you guys, let's get started. Okay, you guys, so going down my list, I'm going to be going down from number 5 to 1. And these are ranking from least darkest to darkest. Yeah, so anyways, the first episode we're going to be talking about today is SB129. Now, this episode of SpongeBob is where Squidward wants to get away from SpongeBob and Patrick because they want to take him jellyfishing, so he runs to the Krusty Krab and he locks himself inside the freezer. Well, when he realizes that he can't get out of the freezer, he is ended up being trapped in there for 2,000 years, and Squidward gets out of the freezer finally, and he is now based in the future. And he basically starts going through time. He uses a time machine, he goes to the past, and then he ends up getting stuck in nowhere. Alright, you guys, so now going deeper into the episode, I was watching a video on this, and somebody said that this was, like, in their opinion, the darkest episode of SpongeBob. I could say it is a dark episode of SpongeBob, but it's not necessarily the darkest as, like, a way I look at it. So this person said, this is, like, just kind of, like, notes that I'm going to talk about. That this episode of SpongeBob explores the concept called existential nihilism. I think that's what it's called. So before I go rambling on about existential nihilism, I just want to make sure I'm getting everything clear here. Now, I did do research for this video, and I found out that existential nihilism is not based on the eternal recurrence. The eternal recurrence is something that's related to it, but it's not, like, the main thing. The main thing is that it's a belief that basically means that life is meaningless, and that nobody can contribute anything to help the universe, or basically just everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless, life is meaningless, and you can't, and you shouldn't and can't try to fight it. That's basically what the main meaning of it is, and yeah, let's go back to the video. And this is based on an experiment called the eternal recurrence. The idea that all events in the world repeat themselves in the same sequence through an eternal series of cycles. This exactly happens in the episode when Squidward is literally running to nowhere back and forth, and you see him running nowhere multiple times. Or when SpongeBob, when SpongeBob has been holding on to, the jellyfish, or not the jellyfish, sorry, the activity, jellyfishing, for almost 2,000 years. And basically that eternal recurrence happens at our loneliness. It's an idea that this person talks about, this professor. I think he did this like years ago. Anyways, if you guys want to go see the video, if this doesn't make sense, go watch the video. The other video. So basically, this professor named Justin Ramhoff, he's a professor at a university. He basically has an article dedicated to the sequence, and it reads that the experiment, the eternal recurrence, is in our loneliness, because imagining our lives eternally recurring from that perspective should move us to overcome our loneliness after first cursing the demon. Now, that's basically what that says, and I think that's like all the evidence I have. Oh wait, no, I have something else. And then also, Squidward was also another thing I wanted to touch on besides that is that, you know, when Squidward was at his loneliness, which means he had nobody, he had no friends, he had nobody but himself. Rather than loneliness, I can't even say that word anymore. Rather than being lonely, being a desire has now turned into a fear. So he decides to, you know, he starts freaking out and he wants to get out, and he basically admits that he misses SpongeBob, he misses everybody, and he is immediately snapped back into reality. And yeah, basically my thoughts on this episode were, a younger me, I do like this episode. I can say that this episode is definitely on my top 10 SpongeBob episodes ever. And not because of like the meaning behind it. I just really liked it. I thought it was a cool concept, and I thought it was like, I don't know, I just liked watching it a lot. Alright, you guys, so coming in at number four, I wrote this list like backwards. So coming in at number 4, we have the episode Rock Bottom. Now, I enjoyed this episode a lot, and this episode is when SpongeBob and Patrick take the wrong bus from Glove World home. Instead, they take the bus that goes to Rock Bottom, which is basically a trench. I guess you would call it a trench, an ocean trench that is dark, creepy, and it has a bunch of like just different sea animals everywhere that like you don't normally see. It's almost like real ocean. That's how I think. I think Rock Bottom's like a trench. On this episode, or I think it's good. It's like one of my favorite episodes to watch. The atmosphere of Rock Bottom and how they make it seem, how they portray it as like one of like, you know, like a scary like place, like say like a rundown city, is really cool to me. And I love it how it's not just dark figuratively, but it's dark literally, like just everywhere. It is so cool. The atmosphere is so creepy, and it is just, it's just so good. And also the music that they put in, especially the music for the opening titles, I love so much because it sounds so creepy. I can really appreciate the music from SpongeBob because it feels like Alfred Hitchcock to me, the music. And that's, I don't know, I just love it so much. I think it sounds so good. I am probably going to be putting it in this video. And I did put it in my last video too. And yeah, you guys, that was my opinion on Rock Bottom. Alright, you guys, so I actually just kind of like realized this recently. Oh, I should move this that way a little bit. I kind of just realized that this episode was like kind of dark in its own way recently. And this episode is SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. Now, I know all of you guys have probably seen this episode, and it's basically where SpongeBob meets a escaped prison inmate, and basically the Strangler, and he wants him to be his bodyguard so he can protect him from, you know, just protect him from the world. So, but little does SpongeBob know that the Strangler is literally trying to strangle him. He tries to strangle him the whole episode, and that to me is like almost like just attempted murder. Like, and what makes this episode so much more creepy is that SpongeBob doesn't know that he's, you know, like that this random guy that he has to be his bodyguard is trying to kill him. It is like so weird. On my opinions of it is I think it's a good episode. I'm gonna say all these are good episodes. In my opinion, SpongeBob, I think everybody loves the older episodes rather than the new ones. I always think that the strongest seasons of SpongeBob are always going to be 1 through 3, because those are literally home to all the classic episodes, like literally all the classic episodes that you will love. Probably like some of the best episodes the show has ever released. And it's sad that they don't make like dark episodes like this anymore. They do, but they're not meant to be dark. It's just like, I don't know, there's like other things. Yeah, let's move on to number 2. Yeah. Alright guys, number 2 on this list is going to be Graveyard Shift. Now, you're probably wondering, you're like, why would this be number 2? Now, you guys, this is my favorite episode, and spoiler alert, that's gonna be the number 1 on my SpongeBob top 10 list, because that's literally my favorite episode. I have a shirt. But yeah, you guys, this episode goes at number 2. Now, I do like this. I do love this episode very much. I appreciate what it does, and I appreciate everything that went into making it. One, we have the atmosphere. The atmosphere takes place at the Krusty Krab, so it's literally just SpongeBob and Squidward. They're stuck there because, you know, they have to work there. So it's almost, you get that sense of isolation that they can't leave. And when Squidward starts, messing with SpongeBob, that's when the episode gets, like, fun, you know what I mean? So he starts messing with SpongeBob, and he basically tells SpongeBob a story about this guy. I wouldn't call him a murderer, but I mean, this person called the Hash-Slinging Slasher who ran over and then fired at his funeral. So now, when after Squidward tells SpongeBob the story, basically all these things start happening from the story that he told him, and the story is starting to become a reality. But when the Hash-Slinging Slasher finally comes, that's when stuff gets broken. I don't want to ruin this episode for you guys. I suggest you really go watch it. I suggest you watch all these episodes after watching this video, because I feel like after you explore the deeper meaning behind these episodes, it really gives you a sense, like, you really, like, realize what it's actually probably about and the concepts that it explored within. Graveyard Shift is just scary. It's just dark. It's just dark. It doesn't have any deep meaning behind it. Just everything that it does, just the whole episode is just supposed to be dark and scary. And that's basically what it is. Alright, you guys. Now, I don't know. When first watching this episode, I never really thought it was anything scary, but, like, some scenes I thought, like, were just kind of dark because of, like, the atmosphere. I'm going to talk about the atmosphere a lot. And this is coming in at number 1, the darkest episode, in my opinion. Nasty Patty is coming in at number 1. And I didn't watch a video on this episode, like, to really, like, you know, pop the, what's it called? Bright the light in my head that it has a dark meaning behind it. And basically this is the episode where SpongeBob, when the health inspector comes to the Krusty Krab, and SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs make him, he wants everything on the menu, so when he finally wants the last Krabby Patty, they decide to give him something like a gross patty, so they call it the Nasty Patty, so it, like, looks like all disgusting and gross. So they give it to him, and before he can even eat it, he basically falls down to the ground, and SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs think that they have literally just murdered the health inspector. So he's kind of, like, laying there dead. So, yeah, so this episode is just dark in a way because they literally think that they committed murder, so they literally went to go bury the body alive, and then they tried to hide the body again from the police. Like, it's so crazy. Like, once you realize what's actually going on and how dark it is, and how, like, they literally think they just committed murder, so this is what they would do if they did commit murder. It's just like, it's so crazy to me. Like, it's just like, I just had that sudden realization. I was like, as I was watching it with my sister, I was like, you know that this is, like, what they would do if they were to, like, commit murder, right? And she's like, oh my god. I was like, yeah. I was like, it is so crazy. And that's why I think this is one of the darkest episodes, like, just ever, in my opinion. And I think it's a really good episode too. I think you should watch it. And even the atmosphere, like, even, like, the clouds and, like, how dark it was, and it was raining and they had a shovel and everything, it just really, like, brought more of that dark theme into the episode, rather than, they could have just made this a funny episode and did something dumb with it. But I feel like the way that it came out, it really came out better, and I think it's a good episode. Yeah, so that was my top 5 darkest SpongeBob episodes list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss any new content from me. Go watch all these SpongeBob episodes. They are super good. And go watch other videos on darkest SpongeBob episodes, because they're pretty good. Everybody has a different list. I can assure you that every list is different. Everybody's darkest episode is different. So you're never just gonna see any of the same thing. You're never gonna see, you know, the same video where the episodes go SB129, Rock Bottom, SpongeBob Meets the Strangler, Graveyard Shift, and Nasty Patty. Like, you're never gonna see it in that specific order. Every list and everybody has an opinion. It's all different. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure. Oh yeah, I said that already. All right, bye guys. I'll see you later.